Doing just enough is not enough.
And I come back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Renee Box Young. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, sharing, showing your support, commenting in the comment sections of the videos, tuning into the lives. You know what I mean? I definitely appreciate each and every one of you. And I want to talk about something, recent subscribers, real quick, recent viewers, new viewers. This is a platform where we simply discuss, critique, analyze, and just simply talk about the sport of boxing, in an open, mature, level headed fashion. You know what I'm saying? Take the hate somewhere else. We don't do that here. No, got no time to waste on that. You know what I'm saying? So this is what it is. We just love the sport of boxing. Simple as that. It's our community. So I really appreciate you. The wrenches, y'all know what it is, man. So hey, I want to talk about something, man. I had to get this on my chest. Something that's been itching on my mind for a while. This is what I want to talk about. Okay, I referenced it in my last video just a little bit, and I want to exhaustively explain it in this video. Doing just enough is not enough. Now, what do I mean by that? Unfortunately, we've been receiving, we've been hearing for a long time, through the past few years of fighters not showing up and showing out when they're given sparring partners. We hear it. Oh, he's fighting a tomato can. Oh, he's fighting this bum. He's fighting this taxi Uber driver, etc., etc. And I'm not against that because I understand. I have fun, I have fun going on other platforms and chatting away, joking around sometimes. It's fun, it's all fun. But there's a reason to why the community's saying this. When fighters fight under par opponents and when fighters are really skilled and fighting under par opponents. Couple examples that I can just think of right now. A lot, I think, talking about, there are reports, information coming out that a lot is moving up to 160, okay? And I'm gonna come out here and say it. I don't know. I don't think many people. I don't know whatever people are saying, but I mean, I speak for me and Lada's performance against Vendetti, some guy named Vendetti, and Ugas fought some guy named Abel Ramos, if I'm not mistaken. They both gave mediocre performance against their recent opponents. I mean, that's just how I see it. Okay, Ugas didn't perform against this Abel Ramos guy as he performs against as he performed against Porter. He didn't do it. Caleb Plant also against Truax, as controversial as it may sound, I wasn't really impressed with what, Caleb did. Great skills, though. But I think he should have done more against this Truax guy. I think Bartholomew should have done more in the undercard against that opponent, that Filipino guy, according to his skill set. This is exactly why the community's, in an uproar right now in the sport of boxing, and it has been for a minute. It has been for a minute. We're tired of seeing really, highly skilled fighters fight these under par opponents. But there's a difference, okay? There's a difference. There's a flip side to this. Hurd, another example. Hurd, he fought some guy and he was, using a new game plan. Hurd, using a lot more footwork. I forgot who that dude's name is, his opponent. All due respect, and that's the thing. We see these guys sometimes fight names that we never even heard of, you know. Um, So Hurd fought this guy some time ago. He was using a lot of footwork. He was a different Hurd. You know what I'm saying? I get it, but these types of fights, when these guys fight these underdogs, these fighters aren't giving it their all. They're just doing enough. That's the problem. And it bores the community. I'm sorry. I mean, I got to say it like that. It bores the community, the boxing fans. They come in and they do just enough because they don't want to, I don't know, waste their energy. I don't know what the heck the deal is there. What these fighters have to do, according to their skill set, is show up and show out and make a big statement. That's why a lot of people aren't really talking about these guys. A lot of people aren't talking about Lada. A lot of people aren't even talking about Hurd anymore. You see what I'm saying? It's sad, but it's true, ladies and gentlemen. Why? Because they're not showing up and showing out, even though they're fighting under par opponents. If they were to really show up and show out and put their skills 100 in that ring, 110, give it their all, make big statements, then the community be like, did you see what he did? Wow. You know what I mean? Why am I saying this? There's proof to what I'm saying. Because why is everybody talking about Jerome Ennis? Not even a champ yet, ladies and gentlemen. Look how the community's talking about this guy. Look how the community's talking about Virgil Ortiz. Why? Because look at the underpar opponents he's fighting. A lot of people haven't even heard of the names these guys are fighting. And look what they're doing to their opponents. taking him out in an impressive fashion. And the boxing community is impressed. The boxing community wants to see more. Look what Errol Spence did against Mikey Garcia. He showed up and showed out. He didn't. I'm not talking about knockouts. I'm talking about he made it exciting by putting his skills 100 in that ring and just making a big statement against Mikey Garcia. What did Canelo do against Mayweather? I'm sorry. On the flip side, what did Mayweather do against Canelo? Perfect example, ladies and gentlemen. It wasn't a boring fight. Mayweather came in, showed up and showed out, gave his A game like he always does. The community was satisfied with what he did in the ring because he showed up and showed out. He gave it 100. He wasn't. These guys, I'm saying, they weren't giving just enough. They weren't doing just enough just to win the fight. No, ladies and gentlemen, they came up, showed up, showed. Another example. I mean, the list goes on, man. So this is the flip side of what I'm saying. Okay, real quick. I mean, look at what Bud Crawford is doing against those welterweights. Look at what he's doing against the fighters that Bob is feeding him. He's not playing patty cake with these guys. You know, with the Khans, with the Horns, with the Benavidez's, with the Meme Machines, with the Brooks. He's been getting heavily criticized because of those opponents and their level. But look what he's doing to them. He's smashing them. He's taking them out. He's putting in, he's giving his A game in each and every fight. And I respect that. And that's one of the reasons why many people are talking about Bud still. One of the reasons. Another one of the reasons why is because I think that, and I made a video about it, I think that Bud's name is catapulted more than ever because of Spence's name. But apart from that, we appreciate Bud's skills. He's showing up and showing out. I repeat, Jerome Ennis is showing up and showing out. That's why many are talking about him against these under par opponents. Virgil Ortiz is showing up and showing out, against these under par opponents. The list goes on, ladies and gentlemen, with some of these fighters that are really showing up and giving their A game as if they were fighting top-notch champions. You see the difference? There's a big difference between fighters and these upper echelon fighters, highly skilled fighters who fight under par opponents and give it their A game. There's a difference between them, and these other fighters as I mentioned, Ugas. I mean, there are more, but I mean, Ugas, Lada, Hurd, even Rigondeaux. I mean, there are more out there, you know what I'm saying, who are doing just enough. When Hurd fought this guy, I forgot his name. I just, it's hard for me to remember these underdogs' names. It's so many names out there, but it's hard. He was doing it was a different Hurd. He was using footwork, and I appreciated what he was doing. But, according to his skill set, he should have taken that dude out, applied a lot more offense and just go in and show up and show out. That's why the boxing community doesn't really talk about these guys. There are more examples. I just can't think of any, okay? More of, highly skilled fighters who just do just enough. And the boxing community is bored with it. They're tired of it, man. And why do you think that so many people are talking about these other names that are really showing up and showing out against these underpar opponents who give their A game in the ring? A lot of people are talking about them. Look at Porter. Look at Porter, ladies and gentlemen. He's lost against Spence, but a lot of people are talking about him because he shows up and shows out and gives his A game. You see what I'm saying? And I mean, I understand Spence right now. Porter's not a champ or whatever, but he's highly spoken of for a reason. You know, look at heavyweight Luis, King Kong Ortiz. A lot of people still talking about him because he always gives his A game under these under par heavyweights that he's given. I understand many people. I think he's probably trying to be frozen out because fighters don't want to fight him. Shouts out to Wilder, another name right there. Forget him, Fury. This is years before he fought Fury. This was a long time before he fought Ortiz. Wilder was coming in and showing out. He always does. Wilder always gives his A game. When he fought Chris Arreola, he fought him with a broken hand, ladies and gentlemen. And look what he did against Chris Arreola. That's A game. That's giving it your all. That's giving it your all, ladies and gentlemen. And look at Wilder's name, how relevant it has been for so many years in the heavyweight division. Why? Because he gives his A game. He doesn't do just enough against these underpar opponents that he's given sometimes, or that he has been given, whatever. You know? There's a big distinction, ladies and gentlemen. When Errol Spence fought this guy, I forgot his name. I think his name was Carlos or something. I don't know. He knocked him out with the body shot. The everybody was entertained because Spence came in, showed up, showed out, wasn't treating him as a sparring partner. He treated him as a real opponent. And a lot of these fighters out there nowadays that are really skilled, okay, given sparring partners or what have you, underdogs, big underdogs, and just doing just enough. That's not enough, ladies and gentlemen. The boxing community is not stupid. The boxing community is not ignorant. We know what we're seeing here. We know how to distinguish what I'm saying here. You see what I'm saying? When Bartholomew fought in the undercard of Caleb Plant, he could have done more against this Filipino guy. They shouldn't have gone to 10 rounds. I think it was a 10-round fight. Shouldn't have gone to 10 rounds, man. According to Bartholomew's skills, I mean, this Filipino guy was tough, but I mean, according to that Filipino guy's skill set, Bartholomew should have done a lot more. Ugas, I reiterate, should have done a lot more against that, Abel Ramos. Lara should have done a lot more against Vendetti. Mediocre, mediocre performances. Rigondeaux, when he fought recently, when I say recently, I refer to the last fights, his last fights, whatever. Rigondeaux fought some dude. I forgot these guys' names, man, his opponents, because for the same reason, I never heard of a lot of these guys, but whatever. When Rigondeaux fought one of these guys, and you'll probably remember when I describe it. He was using a lot of his footwork, which he typically doesn't do much. He's one of those guys that goes in, technically fights you and just smashes his opponents with his precision shots. Rigondeaux was using a lot of his footwork. The crowd was booing, ladies and gentlemen. Booing Rigondeaux. Can you believe that? Because the crowd is not stupid. They said, you know what? This guy is an underpar opponent that Rigondeaux's fighting. He should have shown up and showed out and gave it his A game as if he were fighting a top competitor. He wasn't doing it. Man, there are fighters out there, man, that are so highly skilled, and they're just when they're given underdog opponents, they think, oh, I'm just gonna work on my skills that I haven't worked on in the in camp, or something I've been working on, but I haven't really. I'm just gonna just use that tonight. And the crowd is not stupid, and the box community, we've just had it. We've been seeing it year after year. On the contrary, though, I repeat, okay, why do you think so many people are talking about these names I'm just talking about? Ryan Garcia, even. Put all that influencer stuff that he does aside and that whole community, as whatever, the Instagram, whatever the heck he does aside, that's fine. That's his business. But in the ring, one of the reasons why a lot of people are looking at this kid, Ryan Garcia, the box community, me including, I'm not taking anything away from what he does in the ring, ladies and gentlemen. Look at how he's taking out his opponents. Look how he fought Campbell. Great stuff. Got knocked down. I understand it. He still has things to work on. I understand. But look what he's doing. He's showing up and showing out, giving his A game. He's not playing patty cake with these guys. You see what I'm saying, man? I mean, and you see it time and time again. We see it time and time again, man. And the boxing community's fed up. They're fed up. I'm fed up. And that's why I'm speaking out. All due respect to Caleb Plant, love him, but what he did against Truax, I expected a lot more, ladies and gentlemen. Which is why I think, and I'm gonna go live soon about it to break this down. Canelo, man, he's on another level, ladies and gentlemen. You can think what you want, but why? Because Canelo gives his A game in everything he does. You see what I'm saying? I understand the level of opponents with this dude, but you would got to recognize things, real recognize these things. You know what I'm saying? I have my eyes open to all this. When you see what Canelo does, he's always giving his A game. Maybe he doesn't knock them all out. I get it. But him against Plant, ladies and gentlemen, Plant's not ready for Canelo, in my humble opinion. He doesn't, or maybe that's not the way to say it, not ready. He just doesn't have the skill set or the heart or something to really go in. Look what happened against Truex. That shouldn't have gone. It's not all about knockouts, ladies and gentlemen. But that fight against Truex, Caleb Plant shouldn't have gone 12 rounds, man. I understand his hand got hurt though, but Truax was landing a lot of shots. I understand you're going to get hit. We all know that. But this is what I'm talking about. According to Caleb's skill set, he shouldn't have been getting hit like that against by Truax. You guys, the list goes on and on. So, I mean, what do you guys think? Go ahead and comment in the comment section. There's a big difference between high echelon fighters, highly skilled fighters, even prospects, whatever, who fight competition and really give their A game against these guys as if they were top champs, those opponents. between those fighters and fighters who really have skill sets or whatever, upper echelon, highly skilled fighters, you know, who are given, under par underdog opponents and don't give it their A game. They do just enough. Just enough is not enough. Just enough is not enough. And that's why a lot of people aren't talking about, a lot of people aren't talking about Ugas. They're talking about him recently because of the WBA thing. But ever since he fought Porter, a lot of people are talking about him. But after Porter, listen, Ugas hasn't been fighting his opponents as he fought Porter because he probably thought in his mind, nah, these guys are, under, I'll take these guys easy. I'm just going to, I'm going to take it easy on these dudes. No, you're not supposed to do it like that, ladies and gentlemen. You're not supposed to do it like that. Ugas has to step up and fight Spence if he really wants to do something else and big in his career. Because up to now he's not doing much, man. All due respect, but you know, why are so many people talking about Pacquiao for so many years? Because he shows up and shows out against any opponent that's given him. Doesn't matter if they're under par opponent. Doesn't matter if they're under God. Doesn't matter. Why do you think people talk about these legends like they do? Even recent fighters I'm talking about, up and coming prospects, champs nowadays too. The ones that are really, Spence, Bud Crawford. I mean, Ennis, Virgil Ortiz. The list goes on and on, man. These fighters are really just giving it their all against any opponent that's given them. It doesn't matter if they're underdogs. It doesn't matter if they're champs. They give it their all, and that's what distinguishes it. Those fighters, they're not just doing just enough. And when a fighter is highly skilled and he's given an underdog and gives his A game and gives his all, the world's going to talk about him. The world's going to remember them. But these other guys who don't, they're just going to be like, look at Benavidez, ladies and gentlemen. Another example. The list goes on and on, guys. It's just popping up in my mind. I don't have notes. I just go on what I brainstorm on. Look at Benavidez, man. You know, everyone knows he's a game opponent. I think Benavidez has a better chance than Caleb has a chance of being Canelo because of what we see, what Benavidez does against all his opponents. You see what I'm saying? Enough, doing just enough with these, doing just enough in the ring is not enough anymore, and it hasn't been for years, and it never has been in the sport of boxing, as a matter of fact. And we're seeing this. I'm speaking out. You know what I'm saying? Enough is enough. Is enough with all this. And as controversial as it may sound, man, with this recent performance that Caleb Plant gave against Truex, I repeat, I don't even think he beat Benavidez now, man. Just see that fight against Truex, fight where he should have really, really, really gave it more. I mean, he could have TKO'd Truex. He could have TKO'd him. But, like I said, I'm going to go live later, or I don't know, one of these days to have a post-fight reaction on that stuff. And so it is what it is, man. I can keep talking about that. I think I get my point. So, just to conclude, I said that a moment ago, but fighters who go in there and are given under par opponents and they're above these under par opponents, they got A game. They got A game. This doing just because the community sees it, going to be talking about you much. Renee Boxyoung, thank you so much. Like, subscribe, share, comment in the comment sections. What do you guys think about this? Go ahead and please, comment, opinionate, share this. Thank you so much for subscribing. New listeners, I repeat and I reiterate, this is a platform where we simply discuss, critique, analyze, and talk about the sport of boxing in a mature fashion, level-headed fashion. Take the hate somewhere else all day. Thanks so much. Peace out, fam.